Alright, so this is gonna be a video on everything that I brought with me on the Northville Placid Trail. So starting with my pack, this is an Osprey Kestrel 48 liter pack. It's got hip pockets on each side, water bottle pockets on each side. It's got the H2O pack, but I don't typically use that too much. It's got a top pocket and the brain. The brain does not remove on this pack, but that's okay. It should only bother people that are trying to go ultralight, and that's not quite me yet. For my tent, I chose to use an MSR Flylight 2-person tent. That's what it looks like there. It's a lean-to shape, and it is propped up in the front with trekking poles. And for my trekking poles, I use these LL Bean Winter Walker regular run-of-the-mill snowshoe trekking poles. And if you look, there's even still some dirt from Northville Placid Trail on them. How sweet. Another part of my sleeping system is my Big Agnes Q-Core insulated sleeping pad. It is a 20 by 72 by 4 inches deep, thick boy. It is inflatable, it does not inflate on itself, and it's super comfortable to sleep on. And I am a side sleeper, and this comes in key. Also a part of my system is the Big Agnes 20-degree Mirror Lake sleeping bag. It did tend to get pretty hot on the trail, so sometimes I just kind of used it as a quilt and draped it over top of me. I used a Stanley little cook pot. I'm not sure on the actual name brand, but I do have a link for it in the description. I like it because it has the measuring lines on there. The top just snaps right over top. You can use it when it's hot like this. Pops the top off, and inside I have my stove, and inside also fits my fuel canister. This is the same exact one that I used on the trail. Hold on, I need tool hands here. So yeah, anyways, I would stuff it in the bottom and pull it out. And this is the same exact one that I used. And that lasted me 8 days, and I used it every day at night. I never really used it during the day. It was only once at night for dinner kind of a thing. Stuff that back in there. And now I'll get into my cooking stove. This is my cooking stove. The sides just fold around, and these pop out, and just makes a little bit more surface area for your Stanley cup to go on. But this guy I got for $10–15 on Amazon. Super small. It's like the cutest and the most useful little thing. Also, that's the brand name, Tech City. And then this has the little lighter clicker, so you don't even need a lighter for it. So if it does go bad and stops clicking, you can just use a lighter and fire that boy up. And that's how you set that guy up. And then along with my stove for eating, I just have this little titanium spoon, and it's super light, and I didn't really need to worry about using a fork for anything because my ramen packets would always just kind of like fall apart and crumble in the bag, so it was kind of just like eating rice at that point. For my water filtration, I just used the SAWYER Mini. The only thing that I wasn't so sure about and that I really didn't like about it is that these are so easy to pop. If you do decide to go with this system, as it's pretty cheap and pretty light for the most part, you're going to want to get at least 2, maybe even 3 of these and have them extra in your pack. They're super light when they're empty, obviously, so that's kind of useful. I had one of these pop right in this little middle section right here 2 days into the trail, so I'm glad that I had an extra one. Another thing with this is you can screw this onto a Smart water bottle or a Life water bottle, and you can just drink it out of the top like that. For charging my devices up, this is an Anker power bank. It's a 20,000 mAh. Yes, right there. Charges my iPhone 7 times over. And I also used it to charge a Garmin InReach Explorer. So it has 3 USBs here. You can also charge other devices. This is also how you can charge the Anker itself. And to check its charge, you just hit the little button here. It tells you how much is there. This is my headlamp. It's the PETZL Tika 300 lumen It's a really good headlamp. It has different brightness levels on it. You can also do red. I brought that with me, and I think also a small pocket flashlight as well, but not sure where that one went. It's a little pocket knife that I brought. It's just a super little basic little pocket knife. Kept it with me just in case I needed to like chop up or shred up any pieces of kindling to start a fire. I did bring a little tripod with me. It did break, not on the trail, it broke off when I was off the trail. It's like a little phone tripod that I used just to help videotape some things that I was trying to do and whatnot, so that was also light and helpful. This is my bear bag. I used a bear hang on the Northville Placid Trail. This is what I used. This isn't a legitimate bear bag setup, but it's a super thick plastic dry bag for like canoeing. I put a carabiner on it, 50 feet of paracord. Typically, most days, I did bring an extra 25 feet just in case if I needed it, if the trees really spread apart or whatever. And that's what I used. And I'm gonna make a video on how I set up my bear hang. There's many different ways to do it, and I end up using almost every single way that you could use it as I went through different varying force along my route. So this is another option. I did not bring this with me on the trail, but as far as I'm concerned, or as far as I know, I should say, a bear canister is now required on the Northville Placid Trail in the Eastern High Peaks section, which I believe is the Long Lake to Lake Placid section, which is roughly 40 miles. Another dry bag that I brought, my Granite Gear 18 liter. I brought an Aloe Bean Puffy with me. This is a stowable 850 down, regular standard puffy. For rain gear, I brought my Frog Togs rain jacket. It works really well. It does have like a really soft interior. You can typically get these as a set with a pair of pants, and that's how I got this set. I don't have the pants for this video as the bottoms of them were a little bit long for me and they got tore up. So I ended up throwing them away. But these worked pretty well for me on the trail. Handy dandy thing that I brought with me is the Ben's Invisinet bug jacket. It also does come with mittens that are bug resistant as well. They're mesh like this. Kept all the horseflies, deer flies, whatever you like to call them, mosquitoes off of me. However, anything that was exposed, like my hands, they would bite. So I would recommend bringing the gloves. You're really not losing anything. For my camp shoes, I literally brought a pair of Crocs. So that brings me to my shoes, which is a pair of Ultra Lone Peak 4s. Super aggressive tread on them. They do have a 0 arch support, so they are super flat-footed. But out of the whole 140-mile trail, I did not get a single blister. As you can see, they have a stone guard too. But also, you know, after 20 miles of hiking, you literally feel every rock, every root, every stick that is under your feet. So yeah, something else that I had over top of those to keep an eye out to any dirt and debris were my Dirty Girl gaiters. They aren't waterproof, but they really did keep out dirt, sticks, rocks, debris, and all that. And they just slip on like a sock over first, and then this little lip would just connect to that little guy right there. And there's even some little Velcro here, and it actually worked out perfect because there's Velcro here. So that's what I used for that. So I'll get into my fanny pack here. Inside of this I kept all kinds of toiletries. Deal. So I had my toothpaste. I brought this little small brush. My little collapsible toothbrush. I also had toilet paper and wet wipes in here. Another thing that I brought, I got this from an outdoor gear shop. So it's a mosquito and tick lotion. I rubbed this on my ankles or any exposed skin, and it really did help keep some flies away for 14 hours. And then I just put extra hair ties around the edge of that. So yeah, this is just a little Eastern Mountain Sports fanny pack. So this is my first aid kit. It has a bunch of different things in it. So there's some Ace Wrap. I put a lighter in here just to keep it dry, but there's also aspirin, ibuprofen, insect bite ointment, burn ointment, antiseptic in there, alcohol pads, band-aids, a safety pin, tweezers, stuff like that. I just figured being by myself, it would be best to have a really good first aid kit. That way I can take care of myself if I need to for something minor. This is the map and compass that I brought, the standard flat model. I didn't ever have to use it because I felt like the trail was pretty easy to follow. Yeah, you really won't have a problem. Just always make sure that you're keeping the trail markers in line of sight. And if you don't see any, just stop and look around. I did not need the guidebook. I didn't bring the guidebook. I didn't even buy the guidebook. I literally just went off the map and just got some information from people that were actually on the trail. What did the trail look like? What did you see? What are the conditions? Kind of a thing. Just real quick, I did bring a pair of sunglasses. I brought 2 bandanas with me. This one was more of my headband and my camp towel. I brought an extra one in case as well. So I'll get into some clothes. These are just a regular basic pair of shorts. I believe I got them at Walmart. They have these spandex kind of just like attached to the inside of them. This is the shirt that I brought. It is a Columbia fisherman shirt. I believe I got it for $50 on Amazon. I'll link it below. Great shirt. You could sleep in it. It's so comfortable. I did bring a hat with me. Also, this isn't the exact hat that I brought with me, but just something to keep the sun off of your face. It also protects the top of your head from bugs. These are the best pants. These are the Eastern Mountain Sports ALLEGRO joggers, and these are also linked below. Sleeve shirt, it has like a fleece, it's like fleece lined in the inside. Sometimes I would stuff this over my blue dry sack and use that as a pillow if it was warm. Also, with all these clothing items, I only brought one of each with me. I also had a t-shirt from Columbia. For socks, I brought a pair of Darn Tough ankle socks, and then 2 pairs of Smart Wool socks, and then I also had a 4th pair, a thicker regular pair of socks that I slept in. So that sleeping sock set that I had, I never wore hiking. They were strictly for comfort at night. Alright, so that's everything that I brought with me. As far as I can remember on my hike, it was probably about 6 months ago. I hope you found the information helpful, and if you did, please leave a comment below on what else that you'd like to see. Hopefully I can make something else.